so now we can do this. The population of the Earth. Is it time to start talking about this already? I mean, we're going to have to start thinking about the next generation at some point. Are we ready for it? Can we really protect the children we bring into this world? If we don't have children, what's the point of continuing on? People still have a right to make this kind of decision for themselves without the pressure from the community. We can change this policy later. Alright, so now I need you guys all over here defending for a second. Except where is our builder? Oh, great. Did our builder switch? I think he did. Okay, so where did our builder go? Rations. It's funny, I'm gonna decreased rations. People are gonna be a little bit happy. Will you please zoom out? Thank you. Okay, now you defend here. You defend here. And you help over here. And where exactly is my builder? There they are. You continue chopping wood, and you help out. Number one for death metal, but it's always sounded like incoherent screaming to me. Kind of like what's going on outside the fort right now. I think one is dead, but whenever I was able to sleep a lick and it's affecting morale. Okay, it's over there. Alright. Well, that means that you can kill that and you can help. And then since apparently the brutes are back, I'm going to slow this down a little bit because I don't have enough things to do all of it at once. You guys kill these zombies. Found the goddamn howling zombie on the farm, put an end to it. It was in odd condition. Yes, the blade and the eye. Good. Yes. Okay, so that is good, though. We need you. Oh, we did that thing again. Okay. We need you to have a sword. And we need you to have a fire axe. Alright, and then we need you guys to be back over here reclaiming this because we need it like really bad. And she has indeed stopped wailing. You guys come over here and chop wood. This is the schoolhouse. We heard a noise from the other side of our wall today and found a woman in the extended process of removing a zombie's head with a shovel. When she was done, she waved over. Emily will be a welcome addition to our happy clan. She says she'd like to settle here for a while in Seattle. The weather's nice, the walls look strong, and it beats running for your life alone in a city filled with undead. Alright, so now I need to get... Alright, what is your primary skill? Your skill is a builder. That is great. That means you're going to help out over here. You guys are going to come over here. Oh, it's a 2-block wide. That means that instead, you guys are gonna come over here and scavenge. Or scout, rather. Good. Alright, awesome. So now that means that you guys can come over here and help out. I'm gonna kill all the zombies. Alright, so we're getting a lot of resources over there. Great. Alright, well, that means that you can come over here and defend, and you can go back over here. The tension's higher in this game, but it also is a little bit more on the obnoxious side that you can't get anything done. You have to stop what you're doing repeatedly. I mean, it makes sense. That's a real situation where you'd have to manage your resources as carefully as possible. Oops. You guys build this. City on the grow. Now that we have grown big enough and people feel safe inside the walls, some of our old problems are coming back. Survivors are starting to bicker among themselves, complaining about the quality of food, demanding electricity and hot water and civil rights. It's time we build a city hall and set up government. Something better than the old pre-infection ones, a system that actually works. City Hall has been added to the list of buildings we can construct. Well then, I guess that's what I'll build here. Nightmares on Elm Street. John Perry wasn't able to sleep much lately since his girl Shanisha has been keeping him awake every night. Kids having nightmares. We all do, of course, but these are like white-knuckled, piss in the bed, wake up screaming night terrors. Obviously stressed and traumatized. What should we do about it? Just going to take a few days off, spend time with Shanisha, doing happy father-daughter things to keep the girl's mind off the recent horrors. Alright, so now I come over here and scout this out. All that crap is gone, so I can go over here. Oh, great. Back to building this. And you come over here to help. Let's see here. Flags on the hall are snapping in the wind, curved dome shining in the sun. Now to formalize a government by crafting a constitution for it. Everyone seems to agree that I'm the most suitable person to continue leading them, or at least nobody else has come forward saying that they want the job yet. So what's our government going to lead here? We need to determine some basic driving force behind society in Seattle. This ideology will determine how other factions see us. We have subtle effects on our daily lives. Will we focus on growth, on the military, on religion, on wealth? The highest priority is keeping people safe. There are still tough decisions in Seattle's future, and people's lives may depend on the outcomes. Not everyone's cut out to have that kind of weight on their shoulders, and quite frankly, some fail to see the big picture and consider the greater good. Having one leader call all the shots will make it easier to get things done, but so much power can corrupt a person. Our people would rather elect a Senate to do the voting, but they may be prone to infighting, so which should we choose? The question of private property is a sensitive issue in Seattle. Some people wish we'd just leave them and their stuff alone. They wonder why we need so many laws and regulations to enforce what decent folks do naturally. Others think the government should collect and distribute all goods. Everything shared, distributed to those who need it most. That might work on a small scale, but can we run a society on those principles? How much power should the government have over the resources? Some shared, some private property. How do we decide who gets the best apartment or who gets the luxury goods like tea and peanut butter cups? Sometimes there's only so much to go around, and I know we're all equal, but maybe some of us are more equal than others. Oh, that's a scary thing to say. If we don't give doctors better food and nicer houses, maybe nobody will want to be one. But if a doctor's kids grow up in a nicer house eating better food, they'll have more energy to study hard and become doctors for themselves. Favor the hardest workers. We need a policy for how we deal with criminals. I'm not talking like that jerk who borrowed my lighter but now insists he found it at the 812 last month, even though we both know damn well that he stole it from me. Anyway, I don't mean him. I mean people who break the foundations of our ethical code. Murder, treason, unthinkable crimes. How harshly should they be punished? Should they be rehabilitated, jailed? Was it a wasted effort in a world where every bite of food matters? It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, both literally and figuratively. We've got to draw the line somewhere between us and them. Between cutting off all contact with the outside world and giving our storeroom keys to the next guy who comes in asking for handouts. Um, we've also got a burgeoning national identity to consider. If we let just anybody join us, they have to have the same ideal. Do they have to have the same ideals and values? Will they take our jobs and our place in society, or will more immigrants make us stronger and better? We will be a military republic. Survivors are already campaigning for Senate seats, but we're limiting the time and resources they can spend on their campaigns so they still get some actual work done. Elections will be held by a single transferable vote. Every man, woman, and child will know how to cock a rifle and aim for the head. Those who choose to guard our lives with theirs will be revered as heroes, and if any outsider threatens our dominance over Seattle, we will answer with war. Finally, what will they call me? Just my name. That's fine. We're organizing a celebration for Seattle Day, which we will remember every December 20th from now on. We now have a solid social code to match our solid walls. As the Lone Ranger used to say, my work here is done. Time to gather a posse and move on to the next llama ranch or whatever. Onward down the road to the next town that needs saving. We can start a new mission to leave the city from City Hall. We can start a new mission to leave the city from the City Hall. I'll go. I can take up to 3 others with me. The rest need to stay here and keep the place together. We can leave the city from City Hall. Ah, so this has like levels to it now. Alright, so you guys split to over here. And you guys move to over here. Now that that's gone. Done. Okay, so what I need is I need me, and her, and what's yours? Are you? Oh, you're a scientist. Well, then we need you over here researching something. Done. Okay. Alright, so you guys come over here. Everyone knows you have sheep of the head, but why? We have a theory. Their hearts have stopped, but we think electrical parts are still working. Synapses in the brain continue to fire and send commands via the nervous system. If this is true, then Zed could be paralyzed if you cut their spinal cord. They might be susceptible to attacks like nerve gas. Still don't know how their muscles work with no blood circulation, but we'll have our soldiers test this nervous system theory out and see if it works. More efficient at zombie killing, which is awesome. Alright, and you guys research now. Survivor management. Things falling apart. The wall alongside our trailer park isn't looking so good. It's not like we had much to work with, but in retrospect, yes. Lewis's work is nothing short of extraordinary. Using some old thumbtacks and twine and a bit of chewing gum, he's managed to lash the bits of old wall together to make an all-new zombie-proof barrier. If I had to put money on a meeting between a Mack truck and that barricade, I'd be going with the wall all the way. Who has Mack trucks in zombie apocalypse? I guess we do have fuel, so maybe. You'd figure we'd know everything about the other survivors here, since we have to trust each other with our lives every day, but people are more withdrawn these days. It's a way to avoid pain. If you don't have friends, you'll never have to watch your friends die. Enter human resources. We're training our leaders to act as counselors and keep tabs on who is happy about what and with whom. Talking to survivors regularly can help them discover hidden talents. That's good. Talk. Emily pulled me aside after she said, when they tell you a dog's man's best friend, they ain't whistling Dixie. I grew up surrounded by dogs. My parents bred them, and they taught me and my sisters to love them just like they were our own. Sure, the doctors told us we were getting a bit anemic from all the flea bites, but you never need to worry about getting cold in the winter months when you got a big bunch of furry friends to curl up with. I'm looking at a new perk, which should be Animal Lover, of course. Extra skills and happiness equipped with a pet. What's this one? Automatically convert. May automatically. Oh. She's obviously an animal lover, but it doesn't have a very functional effect since I don't have any pets. Let's talk to my girl. Talk to my girl. Open up to me. She said, "You wanna know more about me? Say it for when aren't running for our lives, okay? Got important things to do and focus on. Alright, if I insist, I was a cop in Seattle. Let's get back to work. Firearms training. +1 defense to anything from pistols to machine guns. Melee training, swords, sticks, or shovels. Or tough. It's likely to die, but hard to make friends. Firearms training, no, melee training. Done. Alright, so so I have the other builder's the other guy I need. Or should I keep the scientist? Let's talk to both of them and see what there is to say. I'm getting closer with Jose Edwards. Today he told me, I used to take care of the children's section of the main library in our hometown. It was fun taking care of all the kids. I mean, sure, there were tears, fights, and more vomit than you could really hope for. But it's not really that different than what we had to put up with today, right? What's Bookworm do? Research bursts. Engineering, that doesn't really work with him since he's not an engineer. Artist, what's this do? Happiness bonus on fortifying buildings. Or the decorator, automatic controls. Okay, so you can have that for sure. That's a useful thing to have. And then that way we can have our scientist in this group. Karen opened up to me today. She told me, yeah, what is it? You want to know about me? There's not much to tell. I was mostly self-taught throughout childhood. Entered an Ivy League university at 14, graduated top of my class with honors 3 years later. I was captain of the university football team, valedictorian. You know, that sort of thing. What are these? Extra materials while scavenging. Bonus food production. That's definitely useful. Bonus food while farming. I think that's gonna be the one since she's our farmer. Alright, so we got... This is probably our ragtag band of people. Alright, well I want you to be over here. Time Palmer said, me? Back in the day, I used to be make little review shows for the internet. Riffing on pop culture stuff, you know? I couldn't count the number of times I did a zombie movie or game railed on it for how cheesy it was, and now look where we are. Musician, bonus happiness to others during missions, firearms training, or hand-to-hand combat. +2 defense, no weapon equip. I think that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'm just gonna equip them. Alright, so I got you. Time to talk again, she was saying earlier. We tell dog this, yeah. Yes. Tried taking on a family profession when I was old enough. But by then, our business was struggling. Too many cases of our adopters getting sick from our pooches. Animal control was on us like a retriever on a particularly slow-moving duck. We snuck across the border with a few of the animals and left to try and start things over, but then all this zombie business showed up and that squashed that plan pretty fast. What's this do? It's got a mission with at least 3 survivors. Artist, animal lover. We'll just go with that one then. Because obviously she is an animal lover. Alright, let's talk to Pickle here. I was a nurse in one of the first hospitals hit by the outbreak here. I was on night shift when I heard an alert from one of my patient's call buttons. By the time I reached the caller's bedside, he was already lying on the floor, blood everywhere. One of the other patients had bitten a chunk out of him and then fled. We never did find the attacker, but it wasn't long before the victim started showing some unusual symptoms. First aid. We prevent death on missions. Yeah? Yes. Yes. Oh, I can talk to him again. Yes, we already did that one. Let's see. While the majority of the victim's vital signs were dropping, emotionally he was becoming more agitated and violent. We never bothered to restrain him, and all the signs pointed to the patient being too weak to cause any serious trouble. We were so very wrong in that assessment. A few days later, the first assault on an initial victim broke out of his room and started trying to attack, maim, and eat other patients. Who recovers from injury faster? Melee training. Let's see here what Hans got going on. Greetings, child. How's the Lord find you in the most glorious of days? The undead scrabbling on our walls day and night, not keeping you awake, I hope. Am I a man of the cloth? Ah, of sorts. Don't worry your head too much about it, child. All will come to be revealed in time. Done, and then we can leave that somewhere else. Greetings, child. How's the Lord find you on this most glorious day? Oh, it's the same one. It's again. Well, I suppose didn't really hurt to tell you at this point. I used to be an agent in service to the Vatican. I was responsible for covert operations on Holy See's behalf, dealing with things that could prove embarrassing to the higher-ups. Don't act so surprised. It's not like other countries that know their own spy networks. Ours is just a little bit more devout than some others. What's this? That's pretty useful. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's see here. Oh, you've got more. A Vatican ninja? That's somewhat puerile way to put it. But it does cover the bases. No, I was never in an action movie or comic book, and I wasn't hiding Bibles in hotel bedrooms. What I did was serious work. The problem, people weren't going to take care of themselves. If they didn't disappear, wait, forget you heard that last bit. It's fine. Yeah? Yes, absolutely. You're gonna be probably the guard here. Oh, that's the next mission thing. How about Charles here? What was that? Do I have any special kills? Well, there was one time I got a stick of dynamite right between the Zed's teeth. Thing went off, and the shrapnel from his skull took out 3 more. Oh, special skills! Sorry, my hearing isn't quite what it used to be on account of all the time I spent playing firecrackers as a kid. It's a craft to do. Create extra items in the workshop. He's not going to be there for that, so we're going to make him a good cook. Let's see here. Have you seen the state of these storm drains are in? If we aren't careful, the whole city's gonna flood next time there's a heavy rainfall. Yeah, I used to work with the pipes under the city. Never made many friends, but that's what you get when you spend your days up to your knees crawling in raw sewage. What's this do? So defense more likely to make enemies. Melee training. It's never bad to do a melee training. What that did mean when the Zed showed up was that I had plenty of bolt holes to get away from the beasts. Zed hunt mostly by smell, and there are way too many other smells in those tunnels to make out another human. Of course, most humans ain't too fond of those smells either, but my nose hasn't been working since the Great Backwash in '92. Let's see here. What else you got to say? I must admit, despite my accomplishments, I never really found my place in the world. All you plebs simply move so slowly. Not as slow as Zed, of course, there's that. But you aren't trying to make a meal of me, so really, not the others. Engineering skill. Hoarder. Extra materials while scavenging. Good cook. Done. And the third part. Of course, I might have done better when everything fell apart if I had a few more friends. I've only left my apartment when the local delivery places stopped answering my phones. The city was in